Hey guys, this is the C&D channel. I'm Chris. This is Dave, and we're gonna be talking about women's MMA and this. What is this? Like MMA opinions,
Yeah,
pretty
more
much.
like a MMA
Discussion. Yeah.
analysis.
Cool, man. So yeah, we're gonna talk about women's MMA, considering Strikeforce happened last weekend. Ronda Rousey beating Misha Tate and really putting the spotlight on women's MMA. Alexis Davis versus Sarah Kaufman also played its role in this as well. I
Yes,
yeah.
go for it.
So what do you think Ronda Rousey does for women's MMA?
That's a great question. I mean, that's the reason we are talking about this discussion,
Mm-hmm.
correct?
Mm-hmm.
I think we talk about this many times, and then the reason is really big hype because that fight,
Mm-hmm.
Rousey tear it out. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
tore up her arm.
Right?
Yeah,
And Michelle Tate should just go relax for a couple months
yeah.
after that fight. But it's not excitement for casual fans. Cause casual fan like me is, wow, woman can fight, and the first thing we can think of.
Mm-hmm.
We already know women can fight. We already know women division exists. We already know Strikeforce have a woman division because it makes people watching it. It makes money.
Mm-hmm.
But because the energy Rossi brings, the whole package, she can talk. She's pretty. She can fight. Now we come back to the point. You know, can women MMA go to the next level?
Oh yeah, can it? And is how far can Ronda Rousey really like elevate it? It's I think pretty much what she's done, and maybe once she has a couple like defenses and stuff, especially against like Kaufman and whatnot. I think it's as far as what she's done. I mean, you know, I can't really say if she's done more than like Gina or Cyborg yet,
Mm-hmm.
but obviously she's a star there,
Mm-hmm.
and she's making people pay attention to women's MMA that wouldn't otherwise watch it. Like there's a lot of people that say like, oh yeah, I don't care for women's MMA, but I'll watch Ronda Rousey fight.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
So it definitely bring more viewer, more casual fan, and which that's what the program needs anyway.
Mm-hmm.
You need a bigger program. You need more audience.
Mm-hmm.
So at this point, I mean, definitely people will think, oh wow, Rousey gonna first Kaufman. I want to watch that
Mm-hmm.
because after the because of Ronda Rousey.
Mm-hmm.
And then now the super fight. Oh, Rousey gonna fight with Cyber. What's gonna happen?
Yeah.
Automatically, this discussion happen. Then get more people want to watch it. Get more fans,
Mm-hmm.
and definitely can grow the program bigger. Then that gives me another question I want to ask you.
What's that?
With this kind of impact right now, should women MMA be in the UFC?
Ooh. Okay, should it be in the UFC right now or later?
Well, let's talk about right now.
Right now, okay. Here's the thing, for in my opinion, the biggest issue right now is depth. Obviously, it's like you have Ronda Rousey, Misha Tate, Sarah Kaufman, Alexis Davis, Amanda Nunez. Um, that's pretty much it for 135 that I can think of. You have Marlis Kunin that's fighting like Invicta and other places.
Mm-hmm.
Sarah Mann's out there as well. So depth, obviously. I mean, I pretty much just named like Strikeforce's like top girls, and it's not a
Yes.
lot, you
Yeah.
know, which is really unfortunate. So the depth issues there. The only thing is that's kind of weird is like, you can kind of say the same thing about like say the flyweight division.
Mm-hmm.
It's like okay, there's the big four. There's Urushitani, Benavides, um, McCall, Demetrius Johnson, Luis Garinat, Lineker, and then there's Dodson and Uyenoyama. That's 8. There's probably more guys going to cut down, but it's not a big division
Mm-hmm.
by any stretch. And one of the things that I asked is like, what do they really bring to the UFC that like women can't already bring as well?
Good question.
That's the thing. and not just with flyweight, like the lower weight division too, even bantamweight. It's not like besides Faber, it's not like bantamweight has like these huge stars or anything. And at least with women's MMA, it's enough of a novelty at least to set itself apart, and the ability to bring in like maybe female fans, maybe to get into other sources of advertisement like women's magazines and whatnot.
Definitely. I mean,
Yeah.
like what you said, this is a totally different animal. It's different division, different animal. It's a new gender that we are going to,
Mm.
explore. But talk about new gender. Do you think because it's women MMA, we will get more female to watch this fight?
Yeah, honestly, in one sense, I do. I think this, I'm not trying to sound sexist here or anything, but it's just kind of like this idea of and this is kind of an assumption, but it's like women empowerment, and I think I would I'm assuming right now that like women want to see, or some women want to see, you know, other women empowered, in some platform. You know what I mean? I think there's a natural attraction to that, with some
Okay.
women. I would imagine so. Anyways, I'm kind of assuming right now.
That's fine. That's your
Uh,
opinion.
yeah.
Well, I think you know, beside what you just say, I feel people women who do fitness, women who also train. There are a lot of women out there who is also do a training, who also do a kickboxing. I
Mm.
mean, it's a sport that men and women both join, and I think because women's MMA, they might they might want to pay attention more. They might want to focus on more, and
Mm.
because that, there's much more money to be made.
Mm.
And from my perspective, I look at this pure business. I analysis as a business. I feel like if there's a profit to be made and it's already doing well on Strikeforce, what's likelihood for Juva say, well, it's making money right now. Why do I need to bring to UFC and pay more money?
Yeah.
What do you feel about that?
That's true. Like it's one of those things. Like if it's there, cool. If it's not there, I mean, it's it, like it kind of sucks. But like I can live without it being in the UFC right now.
Mm-hmm.
I think we were talking about this before, but I think but there's also like this double-edged sword
Mm-hmm. Good point.
that it's like, okay, if women's MMA wants to get elevated, the easiest way for that to happen is if it's in the UFC.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning, like, okay, if it's in the UFC, then you're more likely to get high level female athletes or just more women in general to get into women's MMA. There's incentive now. Oh, hey, it's in the UFC.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, guess what? They're making money. Oh, hey, they're getting exposure and they're getting fame. Cool, that's the thing. And some female athlete or whatever, maybe from the kickboxing world, maybe a female soccer player, maybe a female basketball player, will just be like, oh hey, I'm athletic. Oh hey, I can do what they're doing, and oh they're making money. Cool. I can get into it. I'll try my hand in women's MMA. That's
Good
the
point.
thing.
Very good point.
If it's in the UFC, then it raises the incentive for women to get in there, and that's why, like, it'd be nice if it's there right now because they'd have more incentive for women to want to get into MMA and therefore elevate it.
Definitely. Basically, you are saying that there are women want to do this, but it's not money incentive enough. Which, if UFC, is doing it, then definitely first thing you would think about, you assume that it's money incentive.
Yeah.
Then if there's the money incentive, then people will come. Since they how UFC is building 125 division, well, people coming because they think they're gonna get paid more.
Yeah.
Vice versa. Now, the UFC woman goes to UFC, then they can build a big division over there. Then they can have small division on Strikeforce. They're making money both way. right now,
Mm-hmm.
right? Well, like you said, this is really good point. I mean, but again, it depends on what decision maker thinking. If decision maker thinking, well, and this is another point we're gonna talk about. What if they are dissolving strike force?
Okay, yeah.
Then what's the point for me to bring MMA women's division to UFC now? I could bring in it later once I dissolve the strike force. So now go back to what we asked before. Is Rousey this superstar given them enough incentive to think about this again? Should we you know should we do it now because we got a superstar, we got a star now.
Mm-hmm.
Before it's okay. Now we have a star.
Mm-hmm.
Should we hurry out and then get it done now?
Yeah.
What do you think
Well,
about that?
one thing that's really cool with Rousey that's different from like their other stars they've had, Gina Carano and Cyborg, is that those two fight at 145 where there's no talent. At least with 135, I didn't name a lot of people, but there are females outside of Strikeforce that are pretty good, and there's more ability to get stronger talent at 135. The talent pool is actually kind of there. You know what I mean? Just not really in Strikeforce. I mean, like they got some of the best females, but not like all of them.
But
So
right now there's a perfect storm for Misha Tate vs Rousey and the Kaufman vs Davis. I mean, those two fights is amazing.
yeah,
And then will this be a good incentive to say, oh, women MMA, a lot of people gonna watching it, Strikeforce gonna go, let's take it to the UFC.
well, right now, of course, there's a depth issue because those four people you named were, just going back, those four people you named is more than half of the female 135 roster. That's the problem. The thing is, like I said, it wouldn't hurt I don't think it would hurt the UFC that much to bring it now.
But if you bring it now, then you definitely can expand it because if you bring it now, then you bring an incentive, then people come in, then you can build it, or you can do a safe way, just wait until Strikeforce build it bigger, and then if I dissolve it, I take it over.
That would be cool. The only problem is you're hoping that one Strikeforce builds it, and that's tough. I guess all females right now want to go to Strikeforce. I mean that tends to make sense. Female fighters want to go to the top.
But with UFC, then you begin more people want to
Yeah.
go because you have two divisions to play with.
Yeah, but the thing is, like in the regional scene, like where does women's MMA get built then? Does it get built in Strikeforce, or do they just take the best from the regional scene that's out there?
Very good point.
That's the thing. And honestly, the regional scene, we were talking about this, Sarah McMahon has a hard time getting fights. And she's one of their top fighters. At 135, she's one of the top prospects. And there's this new organization called Invicta that is having all female fights. There's some organizations in Japan, but otherwise, it's generally pretty hard for women to really develop in the regional scene. That's the other thing too. That's why it makes it such a weird conundrum, because it's kind of like, well, if the UFC doesn't build it, and Strikeforce, if you're depending on them to build it, and they have limited card space as it is, who builds it? Well, I guess it's a regional scene. Well, the problem at the regional scene is like, okay, do they have the money to build it? No, not really. So it's just one of those things where it's very circular, because okay, you go to the UFC, they don't want to build it. Okay, well, let's have Strikeforce build it. Well, they only have 8 shows a year. They have a very limited roster and very limited card space. Yeah, can they really build it?
And we don't know how long they're gonna have Strikeforce.
Yeah,
so what's the point to build it?
So okay, so I guess you're going down to the regional scene to build women's MMA. Then is that a correct assumption?
I agree with that assumption, and then that's why the fastest way to build it, under my assumption, and I think it's yours as well, is for UFC to build it.
Yeah, for it to be in the UFC.
Yeah, then the UFC can build it really quickly, and there will be money to be made.
Do you like that idea?
I like the idea. I think it won't be the immediately, money maker, but I think it's good timing right now. I mean,
So
after this
should they
two
have it?
fight,
Do you think they should have it now, or they think they should have it later?
I think they should have it now, but I feel they will have it later. Just again,
Yeah, which one's smarter?
you know,
What's a smarter business
for
decision?
cost wise, it's smarter to just let the strike force die out and take it over because you don't duplicate the double the cost. I mean, you are building something that you already exists.
Yeah, because then you had to pay these girls more, and then you had to make card space, and then you
Exactly.
have to like
If a strike force is
find all these
gone,
women. Yeah.
Michelle Chen not gonna come over and say, "Oh, I'm in UFC, you need to pay me more." No,
Okay.
because there's no strike force. You gotta pay the way you are and work for UFC. But you know why? You can get better other benefits. Well.
Yeah, sponsorships and whatnot.
But
So the question I'd like to ask you is, do you think the UFC will have women's MMA in a year or so, especially if Strikeforce dissolves?
I,
Do you think we'll see it in the near future?
I think we will see in the near future. I think if the strike force is, if strike force dissolve, the women MMA will not go dissolve as a strike force. I think UFC can take it, enhance it, and maybe it will be a strong division later on.
Wow, that's really optimistic thinking for women's MMA for sure. You know, and that's good. That's good. Yeah.
Again, I feel like UFC knows they have the power to build it, and
Mhm.
UFC just by taking UFC's name, I think a women's division will be enough to hang in there. Plus, you already have the roster. You're gonna dissolve Strikeforce anyway.
Take
Might
the
as well
roster
take it.
and then take whoever they can from the regional scene and whatnot.
Exactly.
The other thing is that and one thing that Strikeforce has proven is that they can build female stars. Okay, there's Gina Carano, then there's Cyborg, and now there's Ronda Rousey. You're building stars, so it's not like you can't tell me like, oh, women's MMA, you can't build stars. No, they're already building stars. Ronda Rousey, I mean, honestly, the internet just blew up, about like there was pretty much like Rousey mania, like from Saturday. Heck, we're talking about it now because of this like Rousey mania. Like it's a big deal. So you can build stars. You can have high level fights too. Tate versus Rousey. The striking isn't there, but the groundwork
Oh,
is
that's
all
high
high level.
level.
It's all high level. You can't tell me that wasn't high level stuff.
It's high level.
That's really high level stuff. Kaufman versus Davis.
Oh, that's high level striking too.
Yeah. So obviously you can't say the level. The talent level's like it's almost like it's catching up. You know what I mean?
And I even want to go ahead and say that people could agree with me. I want to say Kaufman is very technical. He compared to a couple of guys in the
Even
the
in the
fighting.
UFC.
I think she is more technical than most of the guys that
Yeah.
I can name.
Yeah, I always felt that way too. Kaufman, stand up. Her arsenal isn't like because she only uses like a 1-2 and a kick. But like the stuff she does throw generally is pretty technical.
Yeah,
That's the
definitely.
thing.
I mean,
But yeah, no, it was really helped. That fight being a stand-up fight mainly, but Davis rallying back, being all bloody. You have that in combination with Tate versus Rousey, which went to the ground,
Ooh.
and then you saw these like Tate being the champion. She even took her back, resisted the first armbar. The second armbar attempt, she got her arm broken, and it really was just the perfect storm of like good things happening for women's MMA. Rousey's a star. She broke the girl's arm, but Rousey also showed she generally doesn't like getting hit. And then Kaufman likes to punch people. likes to get punched. So it's like it's a nice stylistic matchup there, which gives me hope for women's MMA too, because it's kind of like it's not just like low level stuff.
No, no,
You
no.
know what I mean? You got to see some like higher level stuff here. Some of those judo throws were awesome. Those are really cool.
I don't even know where it's coming from.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely
The guard passes are really good
exactly.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that brings a very good question.
Hmm.
What will be the petition between Kaufman versus Rousey?
You know what? Originally, I picked Kaufman. But seeing Rousey in this fight, I am actually switching to Rousey. I think she would be able to get the clinch and be able to take Kaufman down. Kaufman has good takedown defense, but even she showed in third round against Davis, she got taken down. She does get taken down though.
I don't want to tell it now. I don't want to tell you guys now. We should watch our petition on Kaufman versus Rousey. But
Yeah.
no, I think Kaufman gonna win. Want to know more? Watch our prediction.
Well, whenever they announce the fight. Well, the other thing is too, like, so at least you have that fight to look forward to.
Mm-hmm.
You have Rousey versus Cyborg, which would be very interesting. When Cyborg's suspension is up.
Absolutely.
That's interesting in itself just because the weight. Rousey fought at 135. She has fought at 145. I don't know if Cyborg can cut to 135.
I don't think so, man.
So Rousey would have to go up, and I don't.
Then you will sacrifice the speed and
Well, it's not, and it has nothing to do with that. It just has to do with the belt and how would they do the rounds and whatnot.
that's gonna be interesting too.
If they bring back Marlos Kunin, that'd be a cool fight for Rousey. Or Sarah McMahon, who's coming up. A rematch with Misha Tate is probably gonna happen too.
Until Misha Tate fix her arm.
Yeah.
But see, that's the excitement about women's MMA. That what we just named, what we just talked about, it's very exciting.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's not less exciting as Printland on the UFC. I mean, it's definitely something should be pay attention to. It should be watch over to. Well, the women's MMA going to UFC. Well, women's MMA, be shined because all these fights.
Mm-hmm.
It's really up to Zuffa to decide.
Yeah, it really is. So you're optimistic though, so that's good.
Mm-hmm.
That you think women's MMA will eventually be in the UFC?
I just analyze this as a cost effective. I mean, it just makes sense on the business perspective.
You think that once, assuming Strikeforce dissolves, you think that there's money wasted on the table by not bringing women's MMA, right?
And again, don't reinvent the wheel. If the wheel's there, they use it. Plus, how do we know what contract it is? So a lot of people might still have a contract. Maybe they have a couple more years left. What are you gonna deal with it? Do you really want to pay them for the penalty, or just might as well just keep them telling them to
So
fight?
expanding on that, like, don't reinvent the wheel. Like, what do you mean by that exactly?
Well, I mean, again, women's division is already there.
Okay.
Okay, so they already wasted time to do the 125, which was not there in UFC in the first place.
Okay. Sure.
They made it. They reinvented well. I just telling them, don't reinvent the wheel. Take what is there, Strikeforce, and put it over there.
Okay.
You're not wasting the energy to fight all these people. It's already there.
Okay.
So if you reinvent the wheel in 125, in here you don't need to. Why don't you take it?
Just take the talent that's
already
there.
Take the time.
Cool, man. Cool. I think that's pretty much all the talking points about that I can think of then.
Absolutely.
With this subject. You got anything else to say, man?
Zuffa, you should hire me as a business consultant.
Cool.
No, just keep watching UFC, MMA for you, and hopefully this is a good topic and you have fun watching us. I mean, give us more comments what you want to talk about. I mean, we will definitely want to, express our opinion and make a discussion about it.
Cool, man. Yeah. So that's it for our discussion about women's MMA. And that's pretty much it for MMA for you. Thank you guys very much.